Okay, here we are finally at unit 32. So this is the front area here, and it does appear that it does need windows and probably doors, just like the other. But I want to get a good idea of what the little bit of the landscaping is. So it does need some work. I noticed some cracked tiles here. And we're using this obviously for rental purposes, but you've got like a little bit of a screen out, and then there is a foggy window up there. But obviously we're gonna look at this in terms of location and value. So just give you an idea of what we're working with here. I've got the age of the systems and everything coming, and you can see there's a bit of soffit material coming out. At any rate, let's go ahead and go on in. As far as rental, that's cute. A lot of it is ready to go, but there's still some work that needs to be done. And I noticed as far as the floors, they're kind of wonky. They don't feel, they feel like they kind of slope in certain areas. So maybe they didn't address the subfloor. I'm not certain, but that would need to be inspected for sure. So right at entry, you've got this same contiguous floor going throughout, and then you do not have like this bit here. This is the garage. I'll show you. So quite clean, and you see they got it painted here. Could use a little sprucing up, but for all intents and purposes, it does serve a really good need for storage. And as you can see here, do you remember when we went into the other one and we had that blockade there? So this one isn't like that, completely open. And then you have that access here to that additional sleeping quarters. And I'll show you, it's locked here, but I'll show you from the inside. Just want to focus on this garage bit first. They have windows here. Remember the other one was like open air, so you can open the windows. Obviously these are ancient. And you can see they have the padded key lock for entry, which they can control remotely. I believe they can control it remotely. I'd have to double check actually. Maybe they just give the same code out, or they change the code weekly with rentals. So as you can see, that has that window unit. They've got the lighting out here. This would need spruced up for sure for rental. A lot of this is like rusted and ugly. I honestly would just say all these cushions can be replaced. Definitely a power wash, but a lot of decor would be needed here. You could look at potentially mounting an outdoor TV and setting up some sort of fun area here. We're immediately next to the, I don't know if that would be a pickleball court. I suppose, yes. But here's your little kayak area. Obviously we could set this up cute. Not a whole lot going on here, so this would need addressed. And this would be the kind of the view, if you will, from down here. And then I'll show you the view from upstairs. Let's go ahead, because we're here. Here's my little friend. Okay, let's look at it from the back. And this would basically be what your guest would see. And forgive my ranting. Oh, I think that's a citrus tree. Might have lemons. So that is the stairway. That is good that it's the Trex material, so those tops last a lot longer. So that's already done. The base is still the regular wood, but that will help. I noticed they have the downspout right here, so obviously this one has that gutter system in place. I do see a lot of like future work though. This is what concerns me about the facility, is that there's a lot of exposed wood. There's open areas that I think over time, excuse me, are going to take on water and be exposed to the elements, and just like everything is going to need to be addressed. And this one seems to have quite a bit, you know, as far as the complex, quite a bit of need for future repair, right? I think there's 29 windows and doors from what I understand, but I will either count or get an idea about what that replacement would look like. But I think we had a round figure of about 50 in our mind, but I think we might be surprised. It could be due to the shape of the window, maybe more, but let's just not think about that just yet. And take a look at the unit itself for what we need it for. So right when you walk in, your stairs immediately right there. Now these seem to be well traveled, right? And a couple of these stairs I noticed, like this definitely already needs cleaned, but there is like some stair damage, and I'll point that out. But you have this little banquette here. I would use that for storage, maybe put in a storage bench here. And this is just the plain closet, or sorry, hallway rather, The hall, not a whole lot of decor going on. You can see our can lights falling, but you've got one owner's closet here, and then this is a little bit better done, right, than the other one, because it's already got the floors, put the AC unit in here. And then it's all sort of set up. So no TV or anything, but I mean, well, we've got 8 in here, okay? So this is what you basically could do, 8, and you can play with the configuration, but for all intents and purposes, this room is essentially fine. I think it lacks in lighting and in fun. I know that we're in Florida, but I would put a rug, like maybe to center it here, and that extended beyond, and maybe some bean bags and kind of like an entertainment or gaming area here. But you've got the plug, and I can check behind here, but you should have power here. But this here would be then how you would get to the garage. See? Okay, and the closet. Let's take a look at the closet so we can see if we can play with anything. Okay, I think it's sufficient for storage. Okay, got the water heater in the closet, and it looks relatively new. I can get the age of all of the major systems. I've got that requested already. Okay, if the floors feel great down here, pretty solid, right? Okay, so now going upstairs, there are some parents I think might not like the fact that they're away from the kids, but I think some parents would love the fact that they're away from the kids. So that could be configured appropriately. I feel like the outside entertainment area needs like a wet bar. It needs like an outdoor kitchen or some sort of design like that. Okay, I had mentioned that kind of one of those stairs, you can kind of see it right there, has a little snap in it on that, but that's an easy fix. It's just a little trim piece. But you've got the one initial flight here, and then the flight here, and then just the 2 steps here to get up into this bedroom and this bedroom here. Those do not have the water view, bathroom, and then this primary level where the kitchen is. I'll just go ahead and take a look. Lots of these slatted doors. It's kind of crazy. The appliances are all matching, all Whirlpool appliances. They've got the stainless steel. So these seem like old, really heavy duty wood. Okay, so they're not like the laminate, but the interior is that icky icky board. You could work with the cabinets. Maybe not ideal for you. But here's the granite. Let's take a look under the sink because I'm weird. Okay. That's usually a good indicator if it looks good down there, that we don't have any real leaks. A little lazy Susan there. Pretty well maintained. I will say that this is like really like jets out a lot, and this is super tight. So this is kind of annoying refrigerator placement, but it's necessary, right? The beds are all messy, and it looks like the guests have checked and just checked out and like left food. That's not uncommon because they can't take it usually, like on the airplane. See here, got the little glass elements that are sort of echoed. So this is all built in. And then you've got the 3-bar seats here, and then the built-in here with the wet bar. So we've got it upstairs. So the setup is here, which is really nice. I like that. I will say this one doesn't have that same view that the other one did. So I personally would have just put the bench seating. You could still buy a bench, flip that chair there, and then maybe do 3 on the dining. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sit 8, and then the 3 there. That's probably a sleeper sofa, but it's seen better days. I'll double check. So the decking here, being that Trex material, I noticed everything definitely needs cleaned, and this stuff is all rusty, so I honestly would just get rid of this. And the grill is in atrocious shape. That's the condensing unit. Looks like it's dated, but it's high. It's a big one, so it probably is pretty efficient. So can I get you an idea of the deck here? Now here's the view. So let's just zoom in a bit. I'm on a half ratio, so let's go to like a 1. So this would be realistic in viewpoint for you. So the outside here on this unit looks to be in just slightly better shape than the other one, and it's probably because they've got the rental manager, or you know, it's a rental and they've got to keep it up. But this guy, see that, is just toast. This is the gate then that leads down, and it's also seen better days. Kind of tough to open there, so, but that would be how you would get out the back deck. And that is the viewpoint. There's a desk there. Let's see, am I missing anything? Screens. I could not for the life of me open that door. You've got screens here though. I don't think I saw that on the other one, which is nice, but you got to think, you know, your guests are gonna leave the screen door open and let the AC run. And I suspect that's why they've got the dehumidifier rocking and rolling right here. Okay, now that we've seen the living room, and oh yeah, we're gonna check here. I imagine, yeah, weird. Hold on. Oh no, this is not a sleeper. It's just a really abused couch. So there's that. And this looks like these were covered, so it looked different in the, yeah, gross. I don't like that. I honestly would replace these in the couch, so I would put that on your list if you like this one. And some of the fixtures I think need replaced as well. The flooring here does feel good. I think it's here where we kind of get some sloping. Kind of feel like I'm going just slightly down, but it's not. I don't think it's like a huge deal, but of course your inspector would tell you. So granite does not match the granite in the kitchen. Not sure if you mind that kind of thing, but here's the side-by-side laundry, and it does have the curtain. So this was the thing that you and I were talking, like, let's hide this. Like, what could we do? Here is the shower tub combo. It's a very shallow tub, and it does need to be resurfaced at minimum or painted. And it looks like they did do a bit of a reno in here, but it does feel stuffy. So I'm imagining that there's not a lot of, let's see, there's a light, like the ventilation maybe is not sufficient because it seems kind of like shut in. So I actually don't know where the vent is, which is interesting. I hear it, but I don't see it. I think they covered it. That is very weird. I hear it up here, so maybe it's supposed to vent through the light. I don't know. That would be a problem with you over time with like keeping care of mold. But yeah, there's that. So not the highest caliber of furnishings when it comes to the beds, right? So there's a platform bed type thing. And there's I guess my neighbor there. That guy looks like he lives there full time. All right, so this is the closet to one of the bedrooms, and that is a very weird light to have in there, in my opinion. I have no idea why they did that. And then that would be the obviously the access to the attic there. So this is bedroom, I guess 2 on the 2nd floor. And this would look out to the roadway. And then the parking for the neighbors right there. Okay, bedroom 2. I'm gonna try to speed this up because I'm talking a lot, but bedroom 2, missing a lamp, and here's another access point. I don't know what's going on here, but that's like high. I feel like you could do better with the placement of everything here, but there's not a lot of reconfiguring you could do outside of flipping this to this wall and then walking in and having it look that way. In which case you would just see the road, right? So not really a big deal there, but no room anyway for a bunk. So we've got 8 downstairs, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could add 14, 15 if you put in the sleeper sofa. Okay, that's where we're at with the sleeper. 14, 15. And these stairs could be better. Now, in lieu of doing somebody sleeping downstairs, I would probably opt for them to do it here. So you could do like a bunk setup, or create another bedroom in the future should you want to seal this off and maybe add a door and a closet, but it would take away from like the light here. So you get the point. We could sleep another 2 here. And this is pretty good as it is. Just take this out. And again, I keep getting concerned about the windows and the doors because I just know that they're due soon for replacement. I think most people that live here are just pretty complacent in the fact that they've got, you know, what they want for right now. The location that they want. Little skylight. Kind of cool. I did notice this was probably where they came in and then added. So the master's nice. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I like the, this is workable. Lots of space here. I do feel the sloping in this room though. Lots of beautiful light. I like the color. You can work with the furniture. But what I want to know is, do you have a view from the master? And you know, the water view here is just to It's a side, right? So let me get back to the ratio. That would be the view, and then we'll go out on the balcony, okay? But I just want to see, kind of in the bed, yeah. You do. You could have a little bit of a sliver of the sound from here. So there's that. Okay. That's always encouraging. Let's see if I can open this while I'm on the phone recording. Oh yes, I did it. So integrity of the balcony feels legitimate. I looked from beneath and it looked good. So it's kind of your view here. You've got these two high chairs here, obviously, so you can see over. It is a hot day, y'all. Where is that? Oh, sorry about that. So loud, my goodness. I do apologize. Another closet up here, which is great because you've got them pretty much on every level for storage. This is a pretty decent closet. I don't think sufficient to add a bunk, if that's what you're thinking. This has the same design of the, let me see if I can add more lights in here. Okay. I think there's a lot of light bulbs out in this place. Okay. I think that owners rent themselves from afar. And, you know, so they've done consistently 60 to 51, depending on what year they were renting it. Stand-up glass shower, no handrails or anything, but you do have the jetted tub. These are notorious for breaking, so we'd have to actually see if that works. But yeah, it looks like they have in here, yet again, ventilation. That's a problem in here. I hear the vent in the light. I feel like Gato could fix that, but here we are. So that would probably need to be replaced, in my opinion. And I don't like how that kind of has it exposed and there's just not the, let's climb in here. So yeah, so this just is caulking, cleaning. I would get a new fixture, like that's pretty cheap. That's not a big deal. Definitely need some decor, some rugs. Let me just turn off that weird fan. And then the linen closet here for the guests. These seem relatively new, but they were like pretty much the, you know, bought as a whole thing and just kind of like put in. So it probably worked. All right. Okay, I think that does it for our tour for this one. I will determine where the lot is, the slip rather for this one is, and if it has the lift, because that does have a bit of a contributory value, and I'm working on finding out details on exactly what type of insurance any of your guests or you may need in the event you do want to have a boat on the lift out there, because, you know, I don't know what kind of insurance or what that costs, or if the boat companies that are the rental companies out here actually will offer that, you know. So just run through here real quick, and I'll leave you with a second view here then of the kitchen. And I appreciate you watching. I will keep you posted on any development that I have. Okay. Thank you so much.